The VCHA lawsuit shocked everyone. Serious allegations, viral headlines, and a lot of people immediately picked a side. But after going through the details, there are major inconsistencies, missing context, and things that don't fully add up. So today we're breaking down what KG actually claimed, what's backed by evidence, and what might have been misunderstood or left out. Disclaimer: this is not a hate video toward anyone involved, and just to be clear, I am not denying that mistreatment happened. I'm saying there's more to this story than what went viral from one side. Let's start with the moment that changed everything. The day KG left VCHA. Many of the events that took place on this day were absent from KG's documents or poorly portrayed. KG claimed on May 19, 2024, the day she decided to leave the group. She asked a member of the house staff if she could temporarily get away from the group's residence. She claimed that the staff dropped her off at a hotel in West Hollywood at around 3 o'clock in the morning, left her there unattended with no supervision, even though she was only 16 years old at the time, resulting in her mother driving 6 hours to pick her up. This is a complete misrepresentation of what actually went down, and JYP Entertainment provided text messages to prove it. This is what happened from the staff's perspective. By KG's own admission, on the evening of May 18, 2024, she and her mother participated in a Zoom meeting with other group members and some of their parents, in which KG discussed quitting the group, and the other group members elected to continue on as group members. For clarification, it was stated that in this Zoom meeting KG's mother told everyone present that KG was considering leaving the group to pursue a solo career, and that she had connections with other producers who would produce KG's music, but that this was an opportunity for KG only, and not for the other group members. KG became extremely upset following the Zoom and called me around 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, May 19th, distraught, telling me that she had to leave the group residence immediately. Obviously concerned, I immediately left my home and drove the 20 minutes over to the group residence. Once at the group residence, I asked where KG wanted to go, and she repeatedly insisted that her mother would want me to take her to a hotel. Mindful of safety concerns, I did not want to take KG to a hotel in the middle of the night, but she was insistent that her mother would approve. Unable to reach KG's mother, I drove KG to a nearby luxury hotel, and continued speaking with her in the parking lot of the hotel for nearly an hour. Around 4 a.m., I checked KG into the hotel, and accompanied her up to her room to ensure she got in safely. I instructed her not to leave the room for her safety. After leaving the hotel around 4:15 a.m., I received a text message from Tracy Matter at 4:51 a.m. assuring me that she was on her way. From Tracy: Hi Susan, it's Tracy. I wanted to let you know I'm driving to LA from Arizona to pick up KG. I can text you when I have her. I think KG needs removed from this environment as we process next steps and discuss. Thank you for taking her to hotel. From staff: Susan, I think removing her like that without notice to company is ill-advised. Do they know you are coming to pick her up, or do you want me to let them know? I thought she is having a meeting with Daniel, or will you be there as well? From Tracy: her legal counsel advised removing her from a situation where she is uncomfortable or feeling threatened, so I can let the company know. I can email Daniel, but she is my daughter, she will be coming home to me. As we discuss what is happening, her meeting with Daniel can be postponed. From staff: Susan, she never once mentioned she was threatened. From Tracy: the girls ganged up on her, she's not comfortable, we are going to bring her home. Have important discussions as a family and with KG attorney. From staff: Susan, she said only Redacted and Redacted were somewhat upset at her, but Redacted was asleep and Redacted was not doing anything negative. So do you want me to let Daniel know? Do you have ETA of when you will be with her? From Tracy: I don't want to speak further about details without legal consultation. I can text Daniel, but you can also let him know that KG is going to come home. Speak with her family. My impression on the night that KG left the group, based on my experience with KG and other group members, was that KG had a falling out with the other group members. At no point during our lengthy conversation did respondent refer to any feelings of having been mentally abused by or put under duress by JYP or otherwise threatened by anyone at JYP. KG never once mentioned she was threatened. Instead, KG told me that she didn't enjoy all of the dance that was required as part of the group, and wanted her own solo career. KG said she was considering leaving the group but had a meeting scheduled with Daniel Hong during which she would discuss everything with him. In her text exchanges with me that morning, her mother confirmed that there was a meeting with Daniel scheduled and that she was consulting with legal counsel and would be contacting Daniel. With this additional information, we learned that KG and the remaining members had a falling out that she never mentioned. Without including the fallout with the members, she was able to say things like, I am worried for the girls who remain in VCHA, my friends, who I truly love and care for, which could generate more public sympathy. By the time the lawsuit was filed, GIRLSET'S rebranding was already in progress, and JY Park had stated that they were working on separating the group from K-pop and transitioning them to work with Western producers and teams. After the lawsuit, KG also went on record saying she hadn't spoken to the members since she left the group residence back in May. With that in mind, I find it strange that KG's mom posted group photos of VCHA on Instagram just a few days after KG left, and then again a month later. All of this clashes with the idea of the girls ganging up on KG. If the girls truly did gang up on KG to the point that she was so uncomfortable she asked to be removed from the group's residence, why are you posting them? Why are you claiming to be a friend to them? The claims that she never mentioned mistreatment within the company as a reason for leaving, and instead said she wanted to go solo, isn't hard to believe. In her first statement on the situation, she said, "I also realized if I remain at JYP Entertainment, I am not able to become the artist I aspire to be, as I really enjoy songwriting and production." There are multiple pieces of information suggesting that KG's mom may have contradicted some of KG's statements in the lawsuit, while also appearing to approve of what was going on and showing concern over the money KG was making, or could have been making. Here's an email from her right before the girls moved into the group's residence in Los Angeles. "I should note that KG dad is supportive of JYP, signs every contract, supports her participation in the group, is proud of her, so in no way is her job in jeopardy. He's happy she's in VCHA and will continue to support it. He's only interested in how to cause me financial hardship. I'm just worried about KG financial future. Hi Daniel, I'm writing with concerns for KG. I tried to emancipate KG to protect her from a greedy father who once tried to wreck her career and sue her. It turns out after paying $11,000 in legal fees I have no more money to finish it. And the lawyers think she does not make enough money to show she can support herself at the moment, so emancipation is not an option. Despite KG dad being a millionaire, he has set out to bankrupt me in legal fees maliciously and purposefully by finding any single reason to rack up lawyer fees over the course of 4 years. He has succeeded and I have no money left. As of today, he stopped paying child support to KG. He made this decision with no communication to me, my lawyers, or any kind of a judicial ruling. So KG has been deprived of essential needs. She is a minor child who still needs money for school, medical bills, food, clothes and essential needs. I am honestly so very grateful she has a job with JYP helping her. I'm giving you the background not to complain but so you understand where the question I'm about to ask is coming from. I was committed to allowing KG to live in the home in LA with the girls. But now I'm extremely worried for her financial future as she must support herself entirely on her own. I find myself questioning the amount of money she will lose paying that rent when she could live with me for free, and I am 20 minutes away if I can afford to stay here. Over the course of 7 years that could amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent. I know bonding is important for the group. The girls are together the entire time in Korea, the last 9 months in fact. They work together from 9 a.m. till often 11 p.m. They tour together, live together in Korea. I guess my question to you is, how important is it to the company they sleep together in the LA home? I am extremely worried for KG finances and I'm wondering if it's the best business decision to pay rent when you can live for free. I know KG wants to be with the girls. I'm just trying to think of her future. Please advise me how important it is to the company so I can make plans." Here's another email. "Hi Daniel, I have not heard back from you. But KG and I have been talking and she wants to live in the house for the first couple years at least. She wants to be with the girls. We thought one way to alleviate my financial concerns is for KG to continue to songwrite and potentially sell her music. KG has about 5 songs written and would like to create demo tracks with her old producers, Soft Serve Boy and Pace Primates. As she has a working relationship with them for over 4 years, this is something that could be done over this winter break or perhaps on a Sunday day off. It will only take 1 day and not interfere with her VCHA commitments. It is not that time consuming and she does not even have to be the one to lay vocals. She would of course present the demo songs to JYP for first options before presenting to other groups. Is there any issues with this? Do we need approval from JYP?" Another email. "Just wanted to extend my congratulations to your entire team. I watched the Mexico live stream. I'm speechless, just wow, congrats to all. And thank you for allowing KG to be a part of this." In these emails, it appears that her parents approved of the contract, despite claims that KG and her parents didn't know what they were signing up for. It also suggests she wasn't forced or pressured into living in the group home, but instead wanted to be there. It's also notable that while there were claims of being overworked, her mom was actively wanting her to take on additional work outside the group for potential income. This was even before the group officially debuted. To me, this suggests they may not have been fully aware of how the industry operates. There has been a lot of discussion about the group's debt. However, it's common knowledge that when you sign with a record label or a K-pop company, they are investing in you, which results in debt that is paid back over time through your career. Yes, VCHA accumulated debt, but there is no clear proof that it was used to threaten KG when she decided to leave. Many people familiar with the K-pop system know that groups under major companies often pay off their debt within a year. The company claims they attempted to negotiate with her, but ultimately did not reach an agreement. JYP Entertainment stated they planned to release her from the contract without issue, with an official announcement expected in fall or winter of 2025. However, KG reportedly stopped responding to them, and months later filed a lawsuit. My interpretation of this situation is that they may have intended to release her quietly, but needed time to regroup and rebrand the remaining members before making it official. During that period, she may not have been allowed to be active on social media. It's possible her team disagreed with that approach, which may have contributed to the decision to pursue legal action and the claim that she was being prevented from being public and releasing music. On the day the lawsuit became public, a sibling of one of the VCHA members tweeted, "LOL be so for real. All I'ma say is stop jumping to conclusions and attacking people without knowing the whole truth. Let's wait for the whole story before we start jumping to conclusions and attacking people, thanks. That's all I'ma say." Following backlash, they deleted these tweets, made their account private, and later posted, "So my account's private. I shouldn't even be tweeting any more about this, but some people think I'm being insensitive and laughing about the situation based off my first tweet. I can assure no one was laughing at anyone, but I get it because my tweet was to something the public is not really aware of. I just wanted to clear that up." On another note, "I appreciate the love you guys have for the girls. Y'all are really ride or die for real and I love that. I love the girls so much, they're honestly like little sisters to me. One thing I am a little confused about though is why some people think I have no idea what is and isn't going on with my little sister. And that I'm just out here saying anything. Sometimes it's hard to speak about things when you can't actually speak about them. I would catch a bullet for her, please spare me." This was the last time the sibling publicly commented on the matter. One of the remaining members' mothers also made statements online. Since English is not her first language, some responses have been paraphrased for clarity. The mother initially replied to a post that was criticizing a Twice member, stating, "Her body is gorgeous, look at yourself in the mirror please. And you talking about VCHA being abused?" The original poster had also mentioned the alleged mistreatment of VCHA members prior to this. When asked whether she believed the allegations, the mother responded, "Nothing is perfect in this life, but it is horrible to bring other people down without listening to the facts. I love your concern, thank you." Later, a fan asked the mother to pass along a message to one of the members, expressing love and support. In response, the mother reportedly claimed that KG's mother is selfish and just wanted her daughter to be a solo artist. That's why she took the VCHA opportunity. The pills incident didn't happen like that, and it's not the company's fault. She also emphasized that JYP was not to blame. Shortly after these posts, all followers were removed from her Twitter account, and it was made private. Later, the same mother commented on a fan's TikTok post, saying, "Please, do not believe one side of the story. Use a company to get an audience to promote herself, because for years, you couldn't make a solo career yourself. Our VCHA girls are becoming stronger." Overall, it's clear that there are two sides to this situation, and they do not align with each other. Moving on to the heavier allegations, I want to fully clear the air on this because a lot of people misinterpreted some things and believe VCHA was physically abused by staff. VCHA was not beaten. I've seen a lot of claims of that across social media when that's not what KG herself claimed. KG alleged that she was forced to work on injuries that included an injured leg, torn tendon in shoulder and a bruised hip. She provides evidence of doctor visits and her being in the dance studio the next day. She was given injections to these injuries and claim she did not know what those injections were, but in text messages with her mother it shows she knew exactly what they were. The messages read, "He gave me 5 more injections. He say it should heal it, the injections, but if it starts to hurt again I have go back for more. He said it's okay to get them cause it's just glucose, it's not medicine, so I can get as many no limit. It's like water for the muscle to heal it." In regards to her bruised hip area, she said she got an injury on her hip bone, resulting in her words internal bleeding from repeatedly performing a move where she had to lie on the ground. She shares an image of a bruise on her hip. The use of internal bleeding is technically true. Bruises are a form of internal bleeding under the skin, but in everyday language, that phrasing can sound more severe than what it actually is. This is just speculation, but when it comes to the bruising, there are additional factors that could play a role, such as whether she naturally bruises easily. Also, bruising can vary from person to person, and it's often more visible or appears more pronounced on lighter skin tones. It's fairly common for dancers to continue training while dealing with minor injuries, soreness, or bruising, but at the same time, something being common in dance culture doesn't automatically mean it's ideal or should be expected without question. So while the base claims are true, there is misguided information like her saying she didn't know what she was being injected with. There's also some exaggeration or making things sound more severe when speaking on her bruised hip. When it comes to the claims that KG was forced to stay late for dance practice, it's difficult to determine how much of that came from staff pressure versus her own personal work ethic. All of KG's allegations took place after VCHA, so it's fair to look at her work ethic during the show and assume that some of those habits carried over into her time in the group.
I was struggling a little bit with getting a lot of the details down. Again, I don't have as much experience in being professionally trained in dancing. For me personally, I did find it a little bit challenging. And I'm planning on staying here all night until I fall asleep.
Yes, I wake up super early. I wake up at 5 every single day because I want to make sure that I'm practicing as much as I can because I don't want to mess up or regret anything that I give on the stage. Today I practiced guitar so much that my fingers are like actually
like they won't stop shaking. And I don't know if you can see it, but like I have skin actually falling off on my fingers. I'm going to practice more all night, all day.
There are also text messages showing KG herself initiating requests to stay late. However, it's hard to know whether those decisions were entirely self-motivated or influenced by pressure, whether direct or indirect. Text with staff. Staff, hey KG, I heard that you might want to stay later than the others to practice. Did you have an idea of the times? KG, yes, I was wanting to stay late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I was thinking maybe staying until 11 p.m. Even if Madonna isn't available, I'm fine with practicing in artist lounge or vocal rooms just to drill the new choreo. I learn better when I have extra time to myself, so hopefully this is okay. Text with another staff member. KG, hi, can I stay late again tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday since we are learning new choreo? 11 p.m. would be good. Madonna doesn't have to be available. I'm okay with practicing in any room, even the small one. Let me know if it's possible, thank you. In my opinion, there likely was pressure to practice more, especially during their time in Korea, where there are messages that support that. At the same time, there are clear instances where KG chose to stay longer on her own. It's also important to consider that KG may have felt an internal pressure to keep up. Compared to the other members, her skill set, particularly in dance, was not at the same level, which likely meant she needed more time to learn and refine choreography. In messages where KG vents to her mother even encourages her to continue practicing. KG, my teacher just told me, I really need more practice. Mother, okay then practice more, be sharp in movements. KG, it's cause I'm not a dancer. She doesn't know that, so it's a new teacher from outside of JYP. But have been staying till 1 to 2 a.m. Mother, okay, but you are a dancer now. KG, 11 p.m. and midnight. So I can't do any more than what I'm trying physically. Mother, okay. KG, and my body is so sore. Mother, do your best. These messages suggest that KG was struggling with the physical demands of dance training. Building stamina, strength, and consistency takes time, especially for someone without a strong dance background. Compared to other members who had prior training, this was an area where she appeared to struggle. The alleged self-exit attempt of a member. This is one of the most serious claims, but also one of the least substantiated. There is no concrete evidence confirming that this incident even happened, which makes it, at this point, largely hearsay. Because of that, it's difficult to verify any part of the claim. Personally, it comes across as something that may have been included in the lawsuit for impact, especially since proving an allegation like this would be extremely difficult without clear evidence or consent from the individual involved. There is, however, a bit more context from a now deleted post by a family member of one of the girls. In a rough translation, they stated, "The pills incident didn't happen that way and it isn't the company's fault." Even this statement is vague and open to interpretation. It suggests that there may be more nuance to the situation than what was originally presented, but at the same time, it doesn't clearly confirm or deny what actually happened. It's important to be careful here. This is a situation that likely should have remained private unless the person directly involved chose to speak on it themselves. While it's possible that some aspects of KG's claims are true, there does appear to be a pattern where certain details may be partially true while others are exaggerated or left out completely. Unfortunately, enough information has circulated for people to speculate about who this person is, and as a result, commentary surrounding the situation continues to follow her. Despite all the allegations, she has VCHA-related items in her room, including a Polaroid from their time together and a plushie made of herself wearing an outfit from the Girls of the Year music video. After her official departure, she also publicly thanked fans for supporting both herself and the remaining members.
Thank you guys so much for being here for me. It means so much to me that you guys are still supporting us, supporting me.
Claims of being unable to talk about her past as a soloist. KG states, another issue arose on January 24, 2024. When JYP staff gave a strict interview instructions. I was told not to discuss my personal experiences prior to VCHA, even though other members were allowed to mention their backgrounds, like competing on The Voice or in dance tournaments. I felt silenced, but when I objected, they brushed me off as if it was company policy. There's a lot of nuance to the situation. While KG describes this as being silenced, there are also possible reasons why the company may have restricted what she could say publicly. In entertainment, especially in idol groups, image and branding are extremely controlled, particularly early in a group's career. In KG's case, aspects of her past as a soloist had already drawn controversy during a TK. This included discussions online about her past styling choices, as well as criticism regarding how she was presented at a young age. Whether fair or not, these topics became part of the public conversation around her. Because of that, it's possible the company wanted to avoid bringing additional attention to anything that could conflict with the group's image or distract from their debut. Compared to other members, whose backgrounds like competitions or training were more straightforward to present, KG's situation may have been viewed as more sensitive from a PR standpoint. That doesn't necessarily mean her feelings of being restricted aren't valid, but it does suggest there may have been more strategic reasoning behind the decision than simply singling her out. Claims of being pressured to diet. While the group was in Korea, text evidence does suggest that there was some level of encouragement to diet or lose weight. However, there is no clear indication that the members were being forcibly restricted from eating. Based on the messages, the situation doesn't appear entirely forced. In some cases, it comes across as more suggestive or normalized within the environment rather than strictly enforced. For example, there are conversations where members discuss food choices and even opt out of certain meals, like salads, which makes it seem less like direct restriction and more like an ongoing expectation or culture. At the same time, there is evidence of members referencing weight loss, which points to the presence of industry standards that can be considered unhealthy or toxic. This kind of pressure, whether direct or indirect, is not uncommon in that environment, and it's understandable how it could affect the members. However, once the group returned to the US and began living in Los Angeles, this no longer appeared to be an issue. The company even provided documentation outlining the meals the members chose to eat, along with notes about their daily activities, such as when someone was sick or spending time with family. Overall, while there are signs that dieting culture was present during their time in Korea, the extent to which it was enforced remains unclear. At the end of the day, this situation isn't black and white. There are two sides to every story, and no single narrative can capture every detail perfectly. GIRLSET has every right to feel upset about what happened with KG and to express their perspective through music like the song 5 Seconds of Fame. Their feelings, their experiences, and their art all deserve respect. At the same time, it's important to remember that no one involved would want anyone receiving hate over this, and I do not condone that in any way. Everyone deserves understanding rather than attacks, especially now that the dust has settled, the legal matters are behind them, and everyone has found their path forward. Ultimately, it's clear that the story is more nuanced than headlines made it seem. Both sides have their truths, and the most constructive thing we can do now is acknowledge that complexity and move on. Everyone got what they needed in the end, and they're in a better place. So it's time to let go of the drama, appreciate the music and growth that came from the experience, and simply move forward. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions or questions in the comments.